asked this question, she obviously asked from North London. We've been in North London, I think 2 days or 3 days
Yeah,
ago. And then
Swiss cottage.
yes, she said she's concerned because she obviously have a garden and she's been preparing long time ever since the last lockdown. She saw what happened and she said she get back into growing. Sorry to deviate a bit, but these are part of her experiences she shared with me. And she said when she was little, her parents do grow their own food and pickle and all that. But she was surprised on why the parents didn't show her or teach her that these were survival hack because the
Yeah.
parents witnessed World War II. So they always prepare themselves for survivor things that the parents didn't. She saw it, but the parents didn't teach her that these are survivor things. And now, after the COVID, she lives in North London, so you know how that city is. She said to herself that I've got a little garden. Rather than putting flowers there, I think I should put food and apples and pears and berries and all sorts in her garden, and which she's doing well. But she said she have a little bit of concern, which is to her left and to her right is a skyscraper, so they can directly see into her garden. And she's a bit concerned that if the food should run out or another pandemic should happen, which I am hoping it shouldn't, but obviously I don't know, it may or it may not, just assumptions. So what if they get into her garden that she has been thinking that, and she's at the point of considering maybe continue garden growing her food in the garden may not be a way out for her. So what would you advise such because it's a concern to her?
That's a difficult one. My personal opinion is I think that anyone who's growing food at home, especially if they live in the cities, I think that food will go missing very quick. And I don't think there's anything you can do about that. What I would say is make sure you're well stocked up in the house for things like dry beans, pulses, lentils, rice, tinned food, tinned meat. Make sure the freezers are full. Make sure you always keep as much fresh stuff as you dare keep in the house at any one time and keep that rotating all the time. Make sure you've got some frozen dairy. What I think on the growing at home side, um, for me personally, and I know this doesn't work for most people, for me, I'd be getting out of the city. Simple as that. I wouldn't be there anyway. Where we live, we're in the middle of nowhere. We are blessed to live where we live. We've got plenty of wildlife about here that we could eat if we had to. We've got plenty of vegetables about. For me, I genuinely, if I was living in the city, I'd be scared. Well, to be fair, I was pretty scared being down there the other night, and we were only going on the tube across London, and there's no panic and pandemonium setting out. You could quite quickly see how that would be led by gangs who would be going out deliberately destroying people's properties to steal their food. So I think that is, if I was in the city, I'd be concerned. My first thing would be to get my family out
Mm.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, so for those this is not to push instigate fear, but
No,
just we have been in the city recently and we see how congested it is. So imagine there is a pandemic and food, and a hungry man is an angry man. So once people are hungry, they lose the plug and they can do anything just to get that food. So if you're in the city and you can't get out to the countryside, the farmer is advising you to stock up on dry food, on
yeah,
tin food,
um,
fill up your freezer, and just in case we lose out of electricity, you can use your tin
yeah,
food to survive. Some
yeah.
say dates as well, stuff.
And what I would say on that is, if it comes to it, barricade yourselves in and do not go out for the first 14 days. By then, a lot of people are going to have probably gone hungry, killed each other trying to get food, and things will have calmed down by then.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah,
this is not to put fear in your heart, but this is just to prepare you.
being honest.
And these are life hacks. The best time to prepare for war is in the time of peace. So if you are
Yeah.
wise, this is the time to prepare for your food, not when we get the pandemic or food shortage. Because obviously, you told us that from the fruit and veg section, the amount or the percentage of food that's being grown in the UK has kind of dropped ever since COVID-19.
Oh yeah, we're down to about 30% now of what we grow in the country, of what we need is grown in the country. So, if if you think you're going to have 3 meals a day, the chances are that only one of those meals is produced in the UK. So if there's no food coming into the country because other countries have stopped shipping because they've got food crisis as well, which is where we're going, what we can all see is happening. So the amount of food that's been traveling around the world against 5 years ago pre-pandemic is now 72% less food traveling around the world for consumption than it was then. So that says to me we need to up our game considerably in England to grow at home, grow in allotments, grow in community gardens, and get the farmers on board to grow lots of food.
All right. And if you are here, you are thinking, oh, the food will be shipped into, or the
No,
food will be imported into. What happens if it's hijacked and it can't get to you? So you still have to grow your own. There is a need to grow your own so that we can be.
a classic example is if you food traveling around, let's say East Africa, if it's coming out of Turkey or Egypt, you get a lot of pirates down that side of the country, the Sudanese pirates that will take a whole ship of oil. Or what happens if the food becomes more valuable than the oil? It's
Yeah.
the food what will go missing, isn't it?
Yes, it
So
is.
and they don't care. They'll if they lose 100 men to take it, to take control of a boat full of food, which will feed 20,000 people, they'll be delighted. So I think people need to be realistic and get stocked up.